Am I the butthole for sending an email to the rest of the family about sister-in-law's behavior on vacation? My husband and I decided to bring our two kids to Disney World for 4 days, now that they are old enough to appreciate it. My husband and I are not in the best shape, so we decided to invite his sister and her husband along with us. So we have 2 separate rooms. We assumed we would spend the time in the park together, since it was, after all, a family vacation. The first day in the park, we all did a few attractions together, but then when we went to bring the kids to meet some characters, she said she and her husband had other things in the park they wanted to do and would meet back with us. We didn't see them until dinner after we watched fireworks together and then went back to the hotel. The second day we went to Epcot. They stuck around with us until the afternoon, but then we split up again to drink around the world. When we met up with them for dinner, they were clearly very tipsy in front of the kids. Very mature. When we got back to the hotel that night, I knocked on their door after the kids were asleep. I asked them if they're going to spend any time with the family on this vacation and told them running around an amusement park with kids all day is exhausting and we could use some help. She claimed the time they were spending with us was enough, but they wanted to do their own thing too. She made a rude comment that she didn't take days off of work to be our babysitter. The next 2 days, we didn't speak to them at all. They did their own thing and we did ours with our kids. We didn't see them again until the flight home, which was awkward. I was so upset that they ruined the experience for our kids who were looking forward to spending time with their aunt that when I got home, I wrote an email to our immediate family about the experience, and in the end, I told them this was the reason we would be going low contact with sister-in-law. I included the sister-in-law on email, sent it, and went to sleep. Woke up to a ton of angry texts from husband's family calling me ridiculous. I just assumed she would spend the time with family on family vacation. Clearly, she doesn't value family. Nah, I think what she doesn't value is being a free babysitter. Because never in this story you mentioned that you paid for their trip. So you basically assume that, well, I'm not in the best shape, so you will take care of my kids. Doesn't work like that. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I really want to get to 200 subscribers as soon as possible. Am I the butthole for telling my wife she takes me for granted and to stop digging me out for not doing enough? For context, our son just turned 12 months, and my wife returns to work tomorrow after a year off of work. We are very fortunate as I work as a blue chip and make 6 figures, but often that means working away our 50 to 60 hour weeks. And so we have agreed that rather than her return full-time and put our son in nursery, she would only work 2 days per week and help raise our son 5 days per week. I get really effed off when my wife scoffs at me after she tries to assign me a job via a disingenuous question. For example, this afternoon, I asked if our son was due to a nap, and she replied, "Yes, do you want to walk him around the block?" I am pretty tired after catering at his birthday party yesterday, so I said, "Do you want to take him?" An argument ensued on how I don't do enough to help her with our son, with my main point being that she's our son's primary caregiver, and she hasn't worked for 12 months, she isn't returning to work full-time. We now pay her parents to clean our house. It's affordable due to my work. For context, I like to cook, so I cook all our dinners. As I say, cleaning is taken care of by somebody else. I've always helped with our son, whether it's changing nappies or feeding time, etc. Admittedly, she does much more than me, particularly whilst she was breastfeeding. But she quipped my view on us parenting is like something from the dark ages. Am I the butthole here? Feels like a cake and eat it situation. I guess it was a big revelation for you, but if you have a kid, you have to take care of him. You cannot just pay off someone to be his father. Am I the butthole for asking my husband to put his foot down when it comes to his daughter? I have been married to my husband for many years and have been a part of my stepdaughter's life since we began dating. We had the usual every other week custody with some mother. Stepdaughter has had behavioral issues for several years now and has done poorly in school since elementary school, not completing homework or turning it in, not doing well in tests, and never seeking help from teachers. She's on medication for ADHD and depression, also diagnosed with oppositional defiance. She lies and sneaks around. At our house, we have rules and consequences that all the kids follow. We have a total of 6 kids, 4 of mine from a previous relationship, and the youngest is ours together. When the stepdaughter is at her mother's house, there seems to be no rules of consequences, and mother constantly belittling her, calls her names, screams and yells at her, and using her to get status. Stepdaughter barely passed high school, and we were literally told 2 days before school ended that she was graduating. Now she has completed her first year of college unsuccessfully. She failed classes in both semesters and has continually lied about it. My husband also footed the bill for housing and food. We had a conversation this spring with her and she cried and cried on how she wants to take some time off and look for a job, but was also told to check with the college if she could take summer classes or what she needed to do to retake those courses. Here we are, summer, and from what we know, she probably hasn't done this and refuses to contact her father. When asked what she wants to do for a job, she didn't have any idea. Figured she can just work the bare minimum jobs where turnover happens all the time. No set plans, goals, or ideas for her future. Lease renewal is coming up and I keep harping on husband to cancel the lease since she refuses to tell anyone her plans. Why have a name on something that could damage your name and finances? Husband gets so mad when asked about it, but mad because daughter avoids any contact. At this point, the bridge is burned between myself and stepdaughter. I'm not going to listen to her pity party. Time to grow up and make adult choices and decisions, which my husband does agree to this, and says whatever those choices and decisions are, she will have to live with them and deal with the consequences. Gosh, you are a horrible person. Why do you hate your stepdaughter so much? Poor girl, she needs support. She doesn't need to be taught a lesson. Am I the butthole for trying to surprise my husband when he didn't want to? My husband just turned 32. I planned a spa treatment for him and a fun activity with our group of friends. I booked his calendar but didn't mention what it was. When he saw the invite, he said, "I don't want surprises. What are we doing?" I said, "I'm taking to a spa, then we have an activity with our group." I didn't mention what the activity would be because it's very original and we never did something like that. It was a trivia game actually in a real-life game show setting. I also personalized name tags for everyone with fun nicknames. I also paid extra to have personalized questions about him as a part of the game. I didn't want to spoil it and wanted to have a reveal on the day off. He didn't insist on knowing the activity. On the day off, like 3 hours before, he asked again and mentioned, "I don't want surprises." I told him there is no surprise in the sense of you know who is coming and you know that it will be a group activity. He said he doesn't want a surprise and he wants to know. It was not out of impatience or curiosity. It was out of, I don't want to be surprised and it doesn't matter to me. I will still enjoy it just the same, but in pressing and annoyed manner. I ended up crying because I've put a lot of effort into this and he just decided to insist a few hours before, not the first time I mentioned the activity. I told him everything and we had a fight about it. He says it seems like I'm making it about me. Am I the butthole for insisting to surprise him and he doesn't care? And there is an edit. We all love game nights with our friends. We love trivia. We enjoy it, not as an activity I came up with just for myself. In fact, it's my friend who suggested this place and we all came up with the nicknames for the tags together. We were all very excited to show him that we found a real-life spot to play games we play in our living room usually. I have no need for recognition from my friends as they were all involved. I also did not go out of my way to create questions about him. It was an option they offer for birthdays and bachelorettes, etc. It was silly questions such as, what age did he turn today? It was just for fun and nothing embarrassing or difficult. He is not anti-surprises. He was surprised before many times for his birthday, not just by me, and enjoyed it. He just said this year, I don't want a surprise. I don't understand the purpose of this post. Your husband said loud and clear, I don't want to be surprised. Please tell me what we're going to do. And you're like, oh no. Oh, you mistreat me. How dare you? Come on. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also watch that awesome video or this awesome playlist. See you next time.